Good morning, everybody. It's the first thing. Obviously, it's a great honor and pleasure to open the 24th WFS World Conference here in Berlin. A fantastic place, by the way, the Humboldt. Very happy with it. So welcome, esteemed guests, dignitaries, those of you futurists, and future futurists, which we always like to see. It's going to be a few days of really going on a journey into a new era for futures. The field is really changing pretty dramatically. And that's good because it's expanding, it's being extended, it's going into new areas. And what I want to see over the next couple of days, 3 days, is loads of debate. I want noise. I want arguments. I want to see that lounge filled with people discussing what our field is, what it should be, where it's going, where the influences, where the implications for all this change, and so on. So much. We're going to have a very rich 3 days in terms of programs. I'm not going to tell you all about it. You've got the program to tell you that. But just I'm sure you know already. That's why you're here. It's a real mixture. And the reason it's a real mixture is because what we do is incredibly broad and far more complex than people think it is, right? So I just want to say thank you all for both coming and agreeing to participate, those are speaking and so on, and to welcome the other group of people who are not here, right, who are actually already watching us online. Because, as most of you know, this is a hybrid program, and we have about 20 hours of programming, which I don't want to get into the complexity of that, but it's going to be damn good, okay? So when you're not here, you're not having fun outside, you should be just going in, you all got your codes, go in and watch the rest of the program, because believe me, there's about another 80 speakers coming in on the online program that are not here. So a lot of people. So with that, I'd like to say, firstly, thank you for all of our partners, and especially the PMU, because we're going to demonstrate as a WFS our gratitude to everything they've helped us do and support on this, and everybody else, right? And with that, I'd like to introduce someone that sadly I've never met, but I'd love to. It's Dr. Professor Helge Braun. It's a massive pleasure and an honor, obviously, to introduce him. Those of you who don't know, and actually those of you who travel a lot and don't know where we are, we're in Germany. And Helge Braun is the current head of the German Chancellery. And he's also the Minister for Special Affairs and so on and so forth. Great guy, can't be here, but he's going to say a few really interesting words for us. He is obviously a politician from the CDU, but he's also a medical doctor. And I think most of his talk is going to be about medicine, which I hope you're happy with that. Anyway, personally, he was previously a parliamentary minister for education and research, so very attached to everything we do. So with that, I'd like to say welcome, Helge Braun. He should be here very shortly.
Dear President Overland, dear futurists, and dear foresighters, it's a pleasure to be opening the 24th World Conference of the World Future Studies Federation today in Berlin and online all over the world. Thank you for inviting me to share some thoughts on future studies and strategic foresight. First of all, allow me to applaud you all for bringing together people from more than 60 countries for this important conference under the motto, the openness of futures. Throughout history, policymakers have had to navigate countries through volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambitious times. They have always tried to develop policies that pursue positive visions of the future. But today, the world is changing at an unprecedented pace, posing an enormous challenge to governments, economies, and societies and their ability to learn and adopt. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic is the most obvious example. It's the deepest crisis since World War II for Europe and for many other countries in the world. It has affected and continues to affect almost every area of life, and to put it concisely, we could have been prepared better. The same holds true for the climate change. Future generations face the greatest risk of suffering from its effects. We could have acted faster. But this is easier said than done. We face rapid and profound structural change that requires new tools, new forms of cooperation, and even new mindsets. And these must be versatile enough to account for different possible futures. The scientific discipline of future studies and its applied equivalent, the strategic foresight, provide insights as well as future-proof tools and mindsets. They bring together diverse perspectives and create time and space for thinking about the long-term and possible courses of action. But tools and insights are not enough. Both long-term thinking and far-reaching action are needed to shape a better future. And so we must look for ways to translate these findings into policy. We must get from foresight to action. To get from foresight to action, we need futurists and foresighters to work together and join forces with civil servants and policymakers. For this to happen, governments must better understand foresight, be open to it, and make time for it. We need the capacity to absorb the insights available to us. To support this cooperation, we need more moderators and translators between future studies, foresight, governance, businesses, and civil society. We need people who can build bridges. If this succeeds, and I'm optimistic that it can, then future studies and strategic foresight will be well placed to play an important role in this time of transformation. Given these considerations, the German federal government, like many other governments and organizations around the world, is in the process of implementing its strategic foresight capacities more comprehensively at all levels of government. We have created foresight units in many federal ministries, as well as within the Chancellery, which are cooperating in a cross-departmental foresight project. We have established a comprehensive foresight training course, which has already trained more than 300 civil servants in foresight methodologies. And for those of you who are in Berlin, I heartily recommend that you visit the Futurium, our German House of Futures in the center of the city. The Futurium is an attempt to bring the future closer to the people. It is in the same spirit that you are gathered here at this conference. You bring an incredible richness of perspectives with you, as well as knowledge and optimism about the future. I am convinced that future studies and foresight have great potential to help us solve the major challenges of our time. So let us use this conference to join forces and become more future literate. Thank you for your contribution to a better future for all.